Morning everybody, this is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer, and today I'm in the BMW shop. Actually it's the Ducati shop and the Royal Enfield shop and a few other things. So I'm just going to take a look around while I'm waiting for my bike. Join me now. Meerkat. While I'm sitting here waiting to get my bike, get the oil change, I got to thinking about if I was looking to buy a motorcycle, would it be better to buy one now or better to buy one later? Because there's arguments on both sides of that right now. You guys can tell me what you think about this. You know, the MSRPs now, they're really trying to keep the MSRPs down. But what they're doing on the other end of that is you're paying a surcharge because they don't have a lot of inventory. Once the dealers sell what they got on the floors now, they're going to have a hard time replenishing them, because it sounds like to me that due to the supply chain problems from COVID-19, the shipping containers, the chips and whatever, once the dealers sell what they have on the floor now, they're going to be hard pressed to get anything before the end of the summer to replace it. So if you see something that you want, it's probably a good idea to buy it now, because you may not be able to buy it later. We already saw that once during the COVID-19 rush. The other part of it is the inflation. Inflation here in the United States is about 8.5%. So your dollar or shekels or whatever you're using to purchase bikes with is going to be worth more now than it will be in a few months. Also, finance rates are probably going to be going up. They've started going up already. So if you happen to want to finance your bike, or to pay for it, you're probably going to be paying more later on than you would be right now. But if you wait it a little while, you may not be paying those surcharges, but you're probably going to pay a higher MSRP. If you wait a little bit later and the supply chain gets resolved, you may not be paying more for freight. You may be paying less than what you do right now. The inflation thing is kind of a double-edged sword. If you buy something now and you spend that money, maybe later on, 6 months down the road, the inflation has hit you so hard, now you have to sell whatever you just bought now because you needed the money. If dealers get a lot of bikes later on, once the summer gets over with and the supply chain problems get resolved, and dealers get bikes later on, they either are going to have to do one or two things. Three things. They're going to have to manage it so they don't get too many bikes on the floor. So if they get too many bikes on the floor, then they're going to have to discount them going into the winter. Or they're going to have to eat the floor plan cost. So these are kind of things I'm kind of thinking about. There's some positive and negatives. I would say if you can buy a bike that they have on the floor right now, you may pay a little extra. They're not going to really negotiate with you a lot. You're going to pay that surcharge. But if you can afford to buy it without financing it, you're probably better off. But if you have to finance it and you're right at the maximum amount of what you can afford to pay for, you may regret that if inflation keeps on going. So you may have to turn around and sell the bike. So tell me what you think. Salesman over here, Chuck sold me a bike or two, Royal Enfield and my R9T, and we was just talking about Ducati. I didn't see very many, and Chuck was telling me that what is it, because of their factory is the limit on production, or?
Yes, yeah, and it's not just Ducati, it's every manufacturer in the world right now, from General Motors to Ford to BMW, Ducati. There's a supply chain shortage, breakage still going on, and so they're only prioritizing, with Ducati, customer sold orders only. They'll go to the head of the line over dealer inventory. So that's their business model for this year to get through it.
So like you're kind of short on their Meteors here.
Yep. Royal Enfield, we just got a shipment in. We've been out of bikes for the last couple months, but they just delivered 11 new Royal Enfields, Himalayans, and some more Meteors and some Interceptors. So they literally just arrive.
Yeah, you didn't have any interceptors in here last time I was in here.
And then BMW is having an issue with all their touring bikes this year. So all the big 1600s and RTs are on a hold right now. They just, again, computer chip shortage in the world. It's causing them to pull back production. But the only thing I have to sell right now are 1250 GSs.
Yeah, yeah.
They front loaded us with those, thank goodness. So we've got a good supply of those. But once those are gone, they're gone.
The 13 will be coming out next year, won't it?
No, I think everything's going to be pushed back again due to supply chain issues.
So they're going
It might be 2 years, 3 years from now. They can't even build what they've got right now. I've gotten a letter from BMW saying, Ukraine, that China is shut down right now due to COVID. And then it's even simple things like container shortage. There's still a shipping container shortage. So the manufacturers, if they can build things, they can't get a container to put them in to ship them.
Wow.
So it's an oddity of a lot of different things all happening at once. 2 more Meteors and 3 Interceptors. So we just got that for the first time in many months.
Are you thinking that some of the training class schools are going to be using the Meteors?
We're going to try to work with the Idaho Star program on that. The problem we've had is we just haven't been able to get any volume to get to them. So that will probably hopefully change next year. No, we've still been selling more of the standard original R18 than we have of the big bagger version. But it's still spring. It's not really summer yet. So usually that cruiser market is much busier in the summer. So we're just not quite in that season yet. In fact, and because of that, it actually handles better.
Yeah.
It turns better. It's got more suspension travel
Yeah.
to it, so it's a little more comfortable. Yeah, we hope that we'll get some people on those bikes this summer. It's a great bike. It's real simple technology, but it just is well built.
Well, if you're looking for a BMW, Royal Enfield, or Ducati, see Chuck at Dennis Dillon Power Sports.
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.